And welcome into this edition of ACAP Today for the week of January 16th, 2023. I'm Jason Parent with the Aroostook County Action Program. On this week's edition of ACAP Today, we're going to speak with three members of ACAP's housing team about the very important topic of weatherizing your home. They're going to talk about the work that they do in weatherization for our agency in people's homes across Aroostook County, but also what you can do in your home to sort of help fend off the very high cost of fuel oil right now. We're going to have that conversation in just a bit, but before we do that, we're first going to get to the news and information that you can use again for the week of the 16th of January, 2023. And we begin in the news and information that you can use talking about our home energy assistance program with the record high fuel prices, or the very high fuel prices anyway, that we're all experiencing right now. We are encouraging all Aroostook County households that think they might be eligible for fuel assistance, and you can see the income eligibility guidelines right there on your screen, to really call us and schedule an appointment to see if you might be eligible for the home energy assistance program. The income guidelines that you're seeing there are by 1 month and 12 months. We do just look back at 1 month of household income. So if you've had any change in the recent months, we will certainly look at that month. So you may not have been eligible in the past, but you may be eligible now. We also look at any medical expenses and other key expenses that we might be able to deduct from the income. So please do consider giving us a call if you think you're anywhere within potential of being eligible for this program. We're also aware of other state programs that were just passed with the LD3, the bill that the state legislature passed and the governor signed, and we're awaiting information on what those will entail. We know that there's $10 million that has been allocated in the state to help households in fuel emergencies that are outside of the HEAP eligible guidelines, and we don't have any information on that yet. As soon as we do, we'll pass that along to you through this venue as well as through social media. Moving on, we want to remind folks or invite folks who as a household have less than $58,000 of income in 2022 to consider applying for a free tax appointment available through Aroostook's Cash Coalition, sponsored by the County Federal Credit Union, and that includes partners like ACAP and the United Way of Aroostook. Tax preparers will be fanning out in communities in Fort Kent, Houlton, and Presque Isle over the next couple of months to do these tax preparation appointments to help households across Aroostook County, again, that those that make under $58,000 a year. You can call us here at ACAP at 764-3721. We are booking appointments for the Cash Coalition this year, and we will schedule you or work with scheduling you for one of those appointments. The income threshold has increased a little bit this year, and these tax appointments usually fill up really fast. So we're encouraging folks, if you are looking for a tax appointment for this season, to call us as soon as possible. We are also reminding folks out there who would like to help individuals who are having difficulty paying their heating and power bills that Versant Power has the Power Match program, where they will match your donation to our agency. You can go to acap-me.org and go to our donate site to see how you can make your donation and have that donation fully matched by Versant Power. We are also reminding folks out there who are starting a new year and looking for maybe new opportunity or to increase their employability that Maine's Workforce Collaborative, including ACAP, as well as a number of collaborative community partners across the state of Maine, continue to offer virtual sessions over Zoom that include things like interviewing tips and tricks, making career choices, and resume and cover letter development, among others. To offer those on a regular basis. If you want more information on those or to check out the registration link, you can go to the ACAP website for more information on these sessions. Community cupboards are located across Aroostook County to help individuals who are challenged with food insecurity or just need something to get by for a brief period of time. These are not to replace the wonderful food pantries that volunteers have across Aroostook County, but these are open 24/7 for somebody to get a quick thing to eat. This one outside of ACAP's main office in Presque Isle, our customer service center at 771 Main Street in Presque Isle, is again available 24/7. If you would like to help us, it does go on a give what you can, take what you need basis. So we invite community members to donate food to the pantry, or you can donate funds and we will purchase non-perishable food items to put in the cupboard. Again, please give us a call at 764-3721 if you're able to help out, or just drop items off at the cupboard. Again, you can drop them off 24/7 as well. And right next to the community cupboard is our community closet. This is a project that allows individuals who are in need of clothing to get clothing, especially this time of year. We're encouraging folks who have any coats to donate or any winter clothing to help keep people warm. You can, again, this is give what you can, take what you need. So you can drop off clothing 24/7. If our offices are open between 8 and 5 a.m., we encourage you to bring those right into our lobby so we can sort them and get them out in an orderly fashion. Otherwise, you can come by and shop any time of day 24/7 for clothing in the community closet. And I say shop, everything in the community closet is free of charge for those who, again, take what you need. We are also reminding our community members out there who have unused or unwanted medications in your medicine cabinets or otherwise in your home that you can reach out to your Aroostook County Police Department. You can actually drop those off and they will dispose of them appropriately. This is part of the Aroostook Drug Take Back effort, and it helps keep medicine out of the hands of children and other individuals who might be endangered by those. Again, the Aroostook Drug Take Back Initiative, you can drop them off at your local Aroostook County Police Department. There's also selected pharmacies, and there's a website link there on the screen, which can be accessed through our ACAP website to learn more about where those might be as well. And we are reminding our community out there that are looking to get COVID-19 vaccines or test kits for their households, as there's a new strain of the COVID-19 virus that is impacting our communities at this time. You can go to maine.gov/COVID-19/vaccines to find out where a local site is nearest you. You can also go to covidtest.gov or accesscovidtest.org to order free tests to be sent directly to your home. And if we didn't mention anything in this particular news and information you can use section and you are in need of assistance, we have a team of navigators here at ACAP that are available to assist you. We encourage you to give them a call, again, at 764-3721. Give us a call here at the agency. We're able to help you navigate programs not only in our agency, but with other partner agencies in our community as well. And that's this week's news and information you can use. We turn now to our guests on this week's broadcast who are here with us to talk about our weatherization programs at a very timely point here, not only in Aroostook County, but across the country, and certainly here in the state of Maine as we're experiencing the colder days of winter, not as cold as we know it can be here in Aroostook County, but certainly the coldest period of the year for us. And I'm pleased to welcome to have this conversation with us, Matt Guimond, who oversees our weatherization team here at ACAP. Matt, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Jason.
And Matt's joined by members of our housing team who work directly with households and getting them prepared to have weatherization work done on their home and go in and take care of all of those details. They are BJ Estey and Mason Sargent. BJ and Mason, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, so let's get right into it. Matt, I'm going to start with you. You do oversee our weatherization team. Talk about the programs that ACAP offers in weatherization and what the work is that we actually do.
So basically with our weatherization, our auditors need to go into the home, perform the energy audit, which is we go in, basically make a full blueprint of the home, go around, measure all your doors, windows. We take all that information, put it into our system, and when we do that, it will, and then we also see what the home has for existing insulation. Most homes in the county are all under insulated. We take all that information, put it into our program, and it will tell us if we can add insulation to the home or not through a cost to savings to investment ratio. The savings we get is from less fuel usage from the home. And most materials now are a 30-year lifespan, so that's what they figure the savings on. Then we do our blower door test, which will tell us how much air leakage the home has. And we try to seal it up by at least 30% is normally the target. And we also test any combustion equipment the home has to make sure it's running safely to the homeowners.
Now, Matt and Mason, you both have in common that you've both been members of the actual crew that goes in and does some of the work. And Mason, congratulations on your recent promotion with the agency.
Thank you.
So let's talk about some of that work. We have some pictures here to share. I'm going to bring those up on the screen of some of the work that you do in homes. I mean, Matt alluded to that in terms of the advanced work that's done and what the aims and the goals are of the program. Talk about some of the work that the actual crew does and accomplishes as we look through these pictures.
Of course. So attic insulation, we'll go into a home. We'll see what they have. Generally, most homes, like Matt said, hardly have any insulation, maybe like 3 or 4 inches of bat insulation. So I'd go in there, and in that picture, it looks like they might be either a fiberglass or a cellulose insulation that they blow over. Essentially, the crew has all the equipment necessary on their truck to go in and add. It's usually up to about 16 to, well, a total of 16 to 18 inches of insulation there. And that definitely helps, along with a brand new attic hatch and dam to be able to insulate the home. The basement bulkhead door, generally we replace all bulkhead doors with a door that has 2 inches of Thermax in between, generally a 1/4 inch AC, and that helps to seal and keep the heat in. Matt would definitely know more as far as spray foam. We don't, on the crew, we don't handle spray foam. It's generally contracted out. But box sill insulation, we take a 2-inch Thermax, and put it in where the box sill is, caulking, and spray foam if there is some necessary gaps that need to be filled, as well as some foil tape over them, and that helps to keep all the heat. Well, it helps to keep a majority of the heat in the home, compared to if there was no box sill insulation, you would lose a lot. Weather strips for doors is very important as well. And when you're sealing your door, if you don't have it, you'll notice small gaps in your door, and usually that's you can see like daylight through them, and that is a lot of heat loss for sure. So having weather strip on your doors helps, heat to not escape through that, which is great. And basement insulation on that picture, they have a vinyl back insulation that goes down 4 feet from the rafters just below the box sills, you can see. And that vapor barrier helps, again, to keep more excess moisture out of the basement, as well as retain heat.
Great, thank you, Mason. Now, BJ, I know that you have the opportunity to actually go into people's homes before this work is done and then go in after. Talk about what you've seen in terms of, and what you've heard actually from customers in terms of the difference made before and after this work.
Absolutely. Initially, when we go in and do an inspection and the energy audit, we sit down with the client, explain the program to them, and explain what we're going to do as a walkthrough, do the inspection, what we're looking for, what we're gathering for information. We gather that information, bring it back, as Matt said, enter it in the system. See if we can insulate and air seal the house as much as possible. It definitely helps out the client dramatically. Helps with heating costs, health and safety issues. We've seen a huge positive outcome with every client we've had. I've literally had clients call me up afterwards and, thanking us, being very emotional on the phone, and, just being very pleased to the offers that we've had and the services that we've had for them. Also, when we go in and do the inspection and the audit and offer a job to them, we're also looking for any health and safety issues as well. That may be fire issues, electrical issues, health and safety issues, mold, mildew, different substances like that. We also, part of the program, will install brand new smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors for safety reasons for the home as well. So overall, I mean, the program is very, there's some pictures there. Smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors. We do new dryer vents. bathroom fans as well. That's to, get the moisture mildew out of the home as much as possible and make it safe and healthy for the home and for the client. Overall, the program is, I don't know where I'm looking for, honestly. It's a great program for the clients. Like I said, they really enjoy it. They don't understand the full concept of it until we get in there and actually do the job and see the overall outcome. Then they're very, very pleased with it.
Yeah, indeed. And I think, Matt, one of the things that we want to sort of help individuals that we serve across Aroostook County understand is how this happens, because it's not unlike other programs where you come in and apply and we can hopefully get you that service relatively quickly. The way to have a full weatherization that we've been talking about, that you, Mason and BJ have been talking about here, Matt, is a little bit more complex than just an application, correct? So sort of help people understand how they get on the list to have a weatherization done to their home.
Yep. So basically, to begin with, they have to be certified for our fuel assistance program. And that gets your foot in the door for weatherization. And then after that, basically everyone that qualifies for fuel assistance is qualified for the weatherization program. Although we go off what we call a WAP score rank, and that is included with your income, your poverty level, fuel usage, and family demographics. So if you have a child under 6 in the home, you automatically get 10 points towards that WAP score rank. And the WAP score rank is rated 1 to 20, 20 being the highest need. And then if you have a person in the household over 60, you get those 10 points. And then if you have someone disabled in the home, you get 10 points. So basically, in those 3 categories, that's where you get your most points. And the rest of the points are based on your usage, income, and your poverty level. And we go basically from highest need to lowest.
And that, Matt, that fluctuates each year as you come in for that home energy assistance appointment, because some of those things, demographics, some of those income, things like that change in a household. So that list, that weatherization list, it does vary from time to time and change by year. Is that correct?
Yes, it's constantly flowing.
And to give folks a perspective and an understanding, but we certainly love to do many more of these, but there are factors that prevent us from doing that. Obviously, we have a crew of our own, but we also rely on local contractors and our ability to have a number of local contractors engaged. There's also the amount of funds available, but talk about how many approximately or on average we do weatherizations we're able to do in a year, let's say.
Oh, we do about 5 a month. So
60. It's about 60. Yeah.
So we let's see. Roughly 60 a year is what we do.
And so obviously you talk about demographics and things like that, but obviously, senior citizens on very fixed incomes who own their own home are key folks that tend to have these done. Also families with very young children, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Those are really what we try to pinpoint for the most part. And that's really mostly what we do. It's just, they're the ones that are basically it's set up that way because they're the ones with the highest hypothermia risk.
Let's talk about, I'm going to share some more pictures here that you guys sent along to me. There's other work that's done. We talked about the sort of safety we keep to help keep homes, I should say, warm and safe. We've talked about the warm, we've talked about the safe, but here's, I think, a little bit maybe more of the safe side of things. Mason, maybe you could talk about these pictures here.
Yeah, so basement window plug. Generally, a lot of the older windows, either the sills are broken or the window's broken itself. So we'll just take that window out, or we can just put a plug in. That again, that's kind of like a bulkhead door where you would use Thermax and usually like a 1/4 inch AC plywood to go and seal up, and you can kind of see like a little bit of a silver rim around it, and that's weather strip, like you put on a door. Essentially, you put that in there, and you have 2 locks, one on each side. That seals it, that prevents excess heat from escaping. Sump pump, if you have a lot of moisture or a lot of water in your basement, that sump pump helps to collect that and take it outside. So you're not constantly, let's say, flooding your basement, things like that. And a solid gyre pipe. The pipes the majority of homeowners have are the flex pipes. You get really local stores, and those are okay, but the solid ones really help to, well, they don't get holes in them nearly as much, and they're a little bit safer because they don't collect lint as much. Generally with the flex pipe, lint tends to get trapped in the corners or the what it takes a turn like an elbow. So with the flex pipe, that helps to get more of that lint either outside, it doesn't collect. So that's definitely helps with fire safety. And it's not really something that needs to be replaced often. So it definitely helps for the overall, let's say, life of the ventilation as well.
Great, thank you, Mason. So BJ, we've looked at these, a number of these things, talked about some of the things that the team does, our weatherization team does, and our partner contractors. I think we want to make sure we acknowledge them as well, because this work is done in partnership with contractors across Aroostook County. How do you determine when you go into a home what needs to be done, and are there limitations on what needs to or can be done in a home, BJ?
Yeah, when we go in and do the initial inspection and audit, we do have checklists of certain issues that we're looking for. And of course, we check the attic, the basement, any exterior walls to the home or building. Checking for insulation, what the R value is currently, to see if we can improve that to help obviously heat the home better. We're, like I mentioned, we're looking for health and safety issues as well. We go down through the checklist, and we're also looking for anything else that might pop up in interest too. We've had certain homes that have had enough water damage, roof leaking, water damage, that over time it gets to be that it's actual structural damage. Those issues, obviously, we can't really go in and weatherize it, because if we just go in and put insulation in an attic, it's going to get ruined over a short period of time. So we work pretty closely with the contractors. We can actually have them, depending on the issues, we can have the roofs replaced if need be, and fix the overall condition of the home and the building prior to us coming back and weatherizing it and making it safe and warm for the client. We have a few contractors locally. Of course, we cover all of Aroostook County. Excuse me. We have one main contractor we use up north, one southern Aroostook. Not just with our program, but they work with other programs with ACAP too. So they're pretty tight knit with us. They're very efficient. They're very they know what they're doing, what they need to do. They know they get in. Get the job done as soon as possible, as quickly as possible, efficiently as possible. And after we do the initial inspection and audit, and we come back and put all the information in the system to see if we can help out the client or not, we'll reach out to the client and see if they're still interested and offer the job to them. Once they approve of it, we'll be in contact with the contractor for that area. We'll set up a time and date to do a walkthrough, meet the client, and then the contractor at the job site. So the contractor get a quick overview of the layout of the house, what needs to be done for the job for weatherization. Also gets him a chance to meet and initialize contact with the client. The walkthrough generally takes 20 minutes to a half hour or so. Once that's completed, the contractor will give out some times and dates when he can start the job, line it up with the client. We work around the client's schedule as much as possible. Once the dates are set, the contractor will go back in, perform the job. Generally takes, of course, every job's different too, and every house is different. But it generally takes 2 to 3 days for the contractor to go in and complete the job. Once that's done, Matt will go in and do a final inspection, another basically inspection and audit. And that's to basically make sure to see if we didn't reach our goals for that job, make sure the weatherization, the insulation and air sealing that the contractor did was performed correctly and the materials were used correctly. And then once that's done, job's complete, it's signed off, main housing approves it, and the contractor's paid, and the client's happy, and everybody's warm and safe.
Let's pick it up from there, Matt, in terms of helping understand what that difference made is from where you go and do that blower door test in a home initially, and you do it after the weatherization. What kind of an impact and a difference in terms of the tightness of that home and the ability for that home to retain energy and be safe are you seeing on average or in various jobs?
Like BJ said, every home's different, but I've never had someone not notice a difference. With attic insulation, heat rises in most every home. There might be maximum I've seen in an attic really is about 10 inches of fiberglass, and with fiberglass bats, when it's laid out, there's always little gaps here and there. So when we blow over the top of it with cellulose, it's a complete layer. There's no gaps. So that makes a huge difference for the home. And then the basement walls, most of them are never insulated. And when we insulate, it holds the heat in the basement more, because concrete walls, you get an R value of maybe 3 with the concrete. And when we put our insulation on, you are adding an R10 on. So, and then with air, I mean, anything you can seal up stops cold air from coming in. Cold moves to hot, so air infiltration makes a big difference. It stops those drafts that you can feel when you're sitting on your couch watching TV, and it makes it a more comfortable home.
Yeah, and I certainly in this economy where we're talking about the cost of fuel and everything, and I know as both you BJ and Mason have all suggested and have said, every house is different, every home is different, there's size factors and everything. But what have you heard in terms of on the backside of it after you go through a full season with a weatherization by our team or contractors that we're working with done? Has been like a cost savings or a gallon saving? And I know, again, the size of the home is a key variable there, but what have you heard?
I've never heard anyone using more fuel. It's always less. But I mean, unfortunately, this year I've told the clients, you're going to save fuel, but you're not going to save money.
That's it.
It's the way it is.
Yeah.
Prices
Yeah.
are crazy.
Yeah. Before we leave this conversation, I know that as we've shared here, not everybody, unfortunately, we wish we could get to everybody and do weatherizations. It would help so many more households, but we have a limited resource, a limited human resource and fiscal resource to be able to do these. So what weatherization tips would you give each household out there in Aroostook County of things that they could do in their own homes that aren't too much work or too complicated that would help them save some money and some fuel consumption in this time? I'll start with you, Matt, and then we'll go through the crew.
Really, those door weather strips, all you need is a hacksaw or something to cut the weather strip with and a screwdriver or drill. And really most all doors are leaky. And that makes a huge difference. Any exterior penetrations like your dryer vents, most of the time they're not caulked around, which is a hole to outside. I mean, just look around your home, see if there's any holes going to the outside. Any of those holes you can seal up is gonna help drastically.
Great. All right, Mason, any tips beyond that from you?
A big thing, I would say go around and check your windows. Make sure they are completely shut and locked. And you can also get just some silicone caulking, and if you notice a gap, if you can feel air, take a clear or maybe like a white and just go around it. And that'll help a bit for a draft, as well as basement windows too. Go in there, take a look. You can take and see the condition of your windows, but generally same thing applies. Just go ahead and maybe get some caulking and go around and seal them.
BJ, anything above and beyond that from your perspective?
Well, I think Matt and Mason pretty much covered the air sealing. I suggest, for saving heat and fuel consumption, the optimum range for your thermostat should be set at 68. If you can afford it, possibly put in a more efficient, smart thermostat, where you can actually control the settings a little bit better. During the day when you're not there, if you're not at home, you can drop the temperature a little bit, saving a little bit of consumption, because heat from the sun and during the daytime hours will penetrate your home. And then before you arrive back to your home in the evening, those smart thermostats will actually turn on the heat and bring it back up to 68, 70 degrees, which is your comfortable range, and help you save some money and energy at that point too.
I'm just going to ask the question, is it best to drop and raise the thermostat within a certain number of degrees, or some people say, do you lose it when you have to boost the heat back up and get the home heated again? Or
well, there's a lot of different thoughts and figures out there to go with. I mean, everybody's different on that aspect. I find personally, if you can set it at a certain temperature that's comfortable for you and leave it there, to me, my opinion, that would save your energy consumption and your overall health and safety of your home. Another quick factor I can think of too is, obviously everybody has, or most people have, dryers in their home. Definitely recommend to pull the dryer out and clean and inspect your dryer vents at least once a year. They do build up with lint, and that's a major fire hazard. I've seen it personally. Any other heating sources that you're using, whether it be a wood stove, pellet stove, electric heaters, be cautious of them. They still need to be cleaned on a regular basis. They need to be serviced. Electric heaters, keep them away from any fire sources, even curtains, drapes, furniture, anything that's highly flammable. So just be cautious in what you're doing.
good advice, BJ, all around. Matt, Mason, BJ, anything else that we've left off the table in this conversation that any of you want to make sure we get across to folks?
Oh, good on us.
About all of it.
All right, well, good. I really appreciate this. Is a very timely topic. Many folks are thinking about this with the high cost of energy right now. Appreciate your time and expertise, and most especially appreciate the great work that you all do for the people of Aroostook County to help keep them safe and warm in their homes, as we've talked about. Thank you guys for joining me. Before we leave all of you out there, though, we're going to first share with you our photo of the week for this week. Again, the week of the 16th of January, 2023. And for that, we take you to the Connor Consolidated School with our prevention team and the Power of Prevention, who partnered to host or to co-host the Buddies Not Bullies Day at Connor Consolidated School. Our prevention team, along with Power Prevention, hosted activities focused on teaching students how to be good friends and stand up for each other. And you're seeing some of our team members enjoying some fun time there with the children at the Connor Consolidated Elementary School in Connor. So we thank our prevention team members, along with our housing team members who joined us on this week's edition of ACAP Today for their contributions. And we thank all of our ACAP team members as well for all they do each and every day. For all of you, we'll be back next week with another edition of ACAP Today. Until then, have a great week, everyone.
Thank you.